the election will not be free and fair because the team that cheated last time was the Trump team. The Biden team did not cheat. The Democrats did not cheat. And the Republicans down the ticket did not cheat. Donald Trump cheated. He tried to replace duly elected electors who actually vote for the president with this illegal scheme running around the codified laws of each of the state to just willy-nilly just appoint electors. It failed. But that is cheating. So they will do what they've always done. And you see all this election integrity that the Trump campaign talks about.
Good point.
That isn't election integrity. Yeah. That is election suppression and voter intimidation, and that's what that's about. It's not about securing the vote. It's about securing the vote for Donald Trump. So let's not be confused about it. Joe Biden is right about the second, and why wouldn't he be right? Yeah. Because they've already demonstrated their willful, their capacity to be violent, not just violent, deadly violent.
Okay, y'all. The news is hitting. It's looking like Kamala is coming back, y'all. She's coming back from the dead. If you kept hope alive, it's all right. It's going to work out for us, y'all. I've been worried. I've been nervous. I've been sick ever since November 4th. I have not been able to look at TV. I haven't been making videos. I just had to walk away. Today, for the very first time, I heard on CNN, I heard them discussing what is happening, and it is turning in our favor, guys. They are looking at this shit and they know that it wasn't right. They know that we got cheated. They know that he stole it, and they had laid the trap already. They already laid the trap, and it's coming back. Mr. Gardner, thank you so much. This is amazing. We needed this. We needed this. We need you at this moment and at this time. Glory to God. Mamala, we miss you. Where you at? Come on out here and talk to us.
And guys, I just want to thank you guys, as always, for being here. Thank you for hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. Let's jump in. We have a lot to talk about today, guys. So we have hardcore liberals waiting for Vice President Kamala Harris to stop Trump from taking back the presidency. I can't make this stuff up. They're wishing that Kamala Harris will choose not to certify Donald Trump's victory. There's also the hope that Trump is disqualified from the presidency altogether. Another Trump derangement syndrome inspired theory using the 14th Amendment. Now, besides that, I've also stumbled upon two major decisions from President Joe Biden that's obviously aimed at limiting what President-elect Trump can do once in office. Now, I'm not sure about you guys, but this sure does not look like a peaceful transfer of power. You guys let me know if you agree or disagree on that one. One decision deals with Liz Cheney, while the other one is directed at our gas prices.
President Joe Biden is gearing up to ban more offshore drilling before he leaves office. Channel 3's Jane King joins us now live at the New York Stock Exchange with those stories and more. Good morning, Jane. Happy Friday.
Hi, Roger and Caitlin. Good morning. Yes, with President Biden's final days in the White House, reportedly, he will issue a decree that would ban some new offshore oil and gas development in some U.S. coastal waters. Now, sources tell Bloomberg that Biden's executive order would bar the sale of new drilling rights. And if so, this would complicate President-elect Donald Trump's plans to drive more domestic energy production.
Can this be considered as political sabotage? Because Trump has told us about his plan to lower the cost of living for millions of Americans, citing that the country needs to be more energy independent. But it looks like President Joe Biden is racing against time to put as many walls in front of Trump before he's back in the White House. Now, two people very familiar with the plan says that it's going to be very difficult for the incoming administration to unwind this. The proposed plan could permanently ban new oil and gas drilling in large sections of the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, as well as federal waters. Now, President Biden is seemingly leaning hard toward his climate-friendly identity as he leaves power. But not just that, guys. He's also rewarding those that treat Trump as the enemy. Watch.
Today, we celebrate a new group of Americans who dedicated their careers to serving our democracy in other essential ways. Some of you I've known and worked for a long time, none longer than Ted Kaufman. Others I've admired your character from afar. You're all, and I mean this sincerely, you're all incredible. You're activists who turned pain into purpose, forced open the doors of equality and justice. We're a great nation, We're a great nation because we're a good people.
Elizabeth L. Cheney, for putting the American people over party.
Now, at some point, you really got to ask yourself, is Liz Cheney a Republican? Because she seems to be determined to do everything that's opposite what the party needs. Now, it's expected that investigations will be done regarding the J6 committee, with many people saying that Liz Cheney is one of the key persons to blame for the deletion of evidence connected to that day. So, will they actually face justice? At this point, I don't even know. Time will tell, though. Now, speaking of which, we're just so close to seeing Trump retake the White House. And while many of us are celebrating, there are those who are plotting to stop this from happening. You guys got to remember, Kamala Harris is the sitting president, meaning that she's the one who has to certify Trump's win. Now, some hardcore liberals are now saying that Kamala Harris should not do this.
Guys, get this. Kamala Harris is actually legally allowed to reject the certification of Donald Trump because of his January 6th insurrection. Legal experts wrote in an op-ed for The Hill that the certification of Trump's election could be legally rejected because of the very little used oath-breaking insurrection clause of the 14th Amendment in the Constitution. They say that the evidence pointing to Trump's role in the January 6th Capitol riot is overwhelming, and Democrats must stop him from taking office by blocking the election certification process.
You guys got to remind me, when was Donald Trump charged for insurrection again? Oh yeah, that's right. He was never charged for that. That was all propaganda talk from the left in mainstream liberal media. They wanted Democrats to believe it so much that they reported it in a way that basically lied to the American people. But the truth is that the U.S. Senate voted to acquit Donald Trump of incitement of insurrection. So this argument that Kamala Harris has the right to deny Trump of the presidency is founded on a whole lot of nothing.
Is the brand new United States Senator from Ohio, just sworn in earlier today, Bernie Moreno. Congratulations, Senator. We can officially call you that now. What's it feel like? You raise your hand, you get sworn in as the senator. Can you believe it? What'd you tell your wife and your family and your in-laws and everybody else? Did they believe that you're now a senator?
Well, the good news is I have a big Catholic family, so they all came to Washington, D.C. to be part of this. You know, it's a little overwhelming. I mean, I'm a kid born in Colombia, South America, blessed to death by this country. I got the ability to build great businesses here, and this is my time now to give back to this country that I love, and eager to get to work to get stuff done.
Well, congratulations to you. It's quite a moment in anybody's history, and the task is big. I've seen your committee assignments. I want to.
Now, this is another key member for Trump's cabinet to be able to ultimately enact what Trump's plans and objectives are after his inauguration. So, a president can't do everything by him or herself. They definitely need the House, and they need senators to get things carried out and laws passed and things like that.
I'm going to follow up on the lawfare that's out there. You know, there's this prevailing feeling, I think, across the country that justice is not applied equally, that somehow, if you're a conservative or Republican or say have the name Trump, that you're just not going to get the same sort of treatment as somebody on the other side of the aisle. What can you do as a senator to help even that playing field and restore justice and confidence in our justice system?
Well, Jason, as you know, what makes America unique and a great country is that we have a justice system that works. When we see what's happened over the last 4 years with the lawfare, the weaponization of the justice system, the attacks of political opponents, President Trump, of course, namely number one, the crime that was committed was a crime in that courtroom. Judge Marchand is a total, absolute disgrace to the American legal system. What we have to do in the Senate right now is get every single one of President Trump's nominees confirmed. We got to get Pam Bondi in there, Kash Patel in there. We got to make certain that they are allowed to do the job to restore the confidence of the American people in our legal system, because without that confidence, we can't go forward as a country in a meaningful way, the way we've been able to be so successful in the shining light of liberty to the rest of the world. People in Colombia, look to places like America as the example. But when you see ridiculous, idiotic judges like Marchand, it's a disgrace to this country. It's an embarrassment to this country. And we got to get these guys out of office.
It's an embarrassment. And, as you're listening to this right now, and for those of you guys who are joining live, I really appreciate you guys being on here with us. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you for subscribing to the channel, supporting us here. For those of you guys, basically, I want to ask you this. Do you think that it would be wrong if Trump were to go after the people and the groups, the judges, the district attorneys, the attorney generals, do you think that it would be wrong if Trump decided to go after these individuals who went after him illegally, using the justice system against him? Please let me know, guys.
One of the committees that you're assigned to is the Homeland Security Committee, and we had some, dramatic happenings, both in New Orleans and then in Las Vegas. We've also had Secretary Mayorkas for a long period of time, I think, deceiving the American people by claiming that they had operational control of the budget.
Alejandro Mayorkas has been lying to us since how long?
The border, and that they had control of it. And I don't think any of that is true. So what are the early plans for Homeland Security to try to clean up a department and agency that includes FEMA, it includes the Secret Service, it includes the TSA, it includes so many different departments and agencies, including all the different things, the different avenues of border. So what can you do from Homeland Security standpoint?
Well, the first thing I do is we got to get Kristi Noem in there. We got to get, again, Trump's nominees in there confirmed quickly. We got to get them in there by January 20th. They should be ready to go so that when President Trump's inaugurated, we have a full cabinet in place. That's the job of the United States Senate for the next 2 weeks. Then what they've got to do is they got to go in deep into these organizations and reform them. Now, what we have to do is, through legislation, stop these loopholes like asylum that allow people to cross the border illegally and then raise their hand and claim asylum. We have to end that ridiculous legislation that exists. Make it very simple. If you come into this country illegally, you're not caught and released into the interior of the country. You're immediately returned to the country where you came, and you're never allowed to claim asylum for the rest of your life. Look, we have to make it.
Ooh, did you guys hear that? Did you hear that? And I would even like to reach out to my congressman and even add an additional layer and say, I wouldn't even want to send them back to the country that they came from, because why should we? Let's just say someone came from, I don't know, Peru, for example, right? That's not a neighboring country. So should we have to pay for an airline ticket to send somebody back to Peru? Like, why should someone entering our country end up creating an actual expense for us to have to pay to send those people back? It's not fair for us, right?
So that you can come here legally, and zero tolerance for illegal immigration. And if you're in this country illegally, you're going to be deported very, very soon. You should make the plans before we're forced to get you out of this country.
Yeah, I think President Trump has a great opportunity to reset the standard for credible fear and enforce the law. If you don't come in through a port of entry, guess what? We're going to detain you and deport you. That is the current law.
There's a lot of I think businesses, maybe construction businesses and whatnot, that might be using some of these illegal immigrants as a labor pool. What do you guys think is going to happen in terms of prices of like real estate, for example, and other key economic, other types of businesses where that labor pool is pretty prevalent? Do you think that we're going to see higher prices on home construction expenses, which could possibly drive up home prices? Let me know what y'all think on that. I was thinking about that the other day.
Last question here, Senator. You were just elected from the great state of Ohio. Great expectations. When you look back 5-6 years from now, how should the people of Ohio and the people of the United States are going to look at you? What would be a success in your mind? What do you need to achieve during those 6 years that you've been granted this opportunity to serve as a senator?
Well, I think we have to complete the promises that we made in a campaign trail. We have to have a secure border, a zero tolerance for illegal immigration, only one path into America, a legal way. We got to lower the cost of everyday living. We have to reindustrialize this country, especially in the automobile industry, where we've gutted our middle class, gutted our auto factories, shipped them to Canada and Mexico, reverse course, shrink the size and scale of the federal government, get our budget under control, make certain we have peace and stability around the world. And Jason, we do too much here in D.C. Get stuff out of Washington, D.C., back to the states. If we can do that over the next 6 years, I think the Republican Party can be the party for generations to come. We have an opportunity. We don't have 6 years, though. We have 18 months to get these things done, and I'm confident that we can do it.
So at the very least, the vice president, along with President Joe Biden, will have front row tickets to Donald Trump being certified as the 47th president of the United States of America. No wonder they're doing everything that they can to try to slow down his policy plans. Now, on that note, we're also seeing an uptick in terrorist attacks around the country. Now, I covered this in a previous live stream where Borders Czar Tom Homan is warning the American public that we should expect more. Now, I know this sounds very concerning, but you have to watch this next because it pays to be informed, guys. As always, thanks so much for hitting the like button and subscribing. We'll see you guys next time.